Welcome to this Women's Day talk. My name is Cass Naidu, and I am a life transformation coach. It's 25 years now, and it's been such an incredible journey. And I think everything I've learned in the last 25 years with all of the people I've worked with, there's themes that I see recurring in terms of who we are, what we do, how we show up, what makes us thrive, and what makes us struggle, right? So I'm here today to tell you that you were not born to struggle. You didn't come here to play small. You didn't come here to be invisible. You came here to stand in your power. You came here to realize your fullest potential. And however, most women today find themselves at a crossroads. A lot of us are feeling invisible. Sometimes it could be on the relationship side where someone's single and they feel, I have so much to offer. I am well educated. I'm independent. I'm good looking. All of these things I have to offer. And yet, why can't I find a partner? And I think worse than that is the women that are in relationships that are feeling lonely, that are feeling disconnected, right? And also, then there's on the work front where we might feel, um, I have so much to offer, and yet other people are moving ahead, getting the promotions, making more money than I am. So we tend to question, why is it that I feel invisible? The other place where I feel women are struggling is we are we are overloaded. We take on so much and we feel I hear these phrases all the time. I've got too much on my plate. I'm too stressed out. I don't have time. I'm just working too long hours. And then the third area is where we're feeling very disconnected. And I think this started in 2020, where we kind of like got used to being on our own. And we forgot that after that period was over, that we could go back and connect again. So that went on for years. And now is the time when more people are feeling like I need to connect again. And this need for connection, this is your feminine energy. So if you're feeling invisible or disconnected or overwhelmed, overworked, and all of that, it's actually not your fault. This is what's happening right now is your soul is tapping you on the shoulder and saying, it's time for you to come back to your truth. It's time for you to come back to your power. It's time for you to reclaim your feminine essence, right? So if you're feeling that there's more available in the world for you, but you're not quite sure how to receive that, maybe there's more love available. You know that whether you're on your own, there's love available for you, whether you're in a relationship. More often, I hear women talking about their partners rather than to their partners, right? So that's the number one conversation when women get together. We're talking about relationships. And so if you're feeling there's more love, a deeper connection, more open conversations, that ability to be vulnerable and really go deep in relationships. If you feel that's missing, or you could feel on the work front, it's the success and the wealth that I know there's more available for me. I know I can do better than I'm doing right now, but I don't know how, right? Or it could be joy. I want you to just feel in for a moment. And when was the last time you felt true, open, unabandoned joy? Just let yourself feel joy, right? More and more, I feel that we are leaning towards the stress and the overwhelm and less towards the joy. And yet, the joy is what the divine goddess is all about. So, the inner goddess or the divine feminine is actually inside of you. She's not something we become. She is there waiting for you to see her, to honor her, and to embody her. So we don't have to work at this. It's not something we've got to earn. However, we need to start releasing and letting go of everything that does not serve us anymore. Everything that was not ours to carry in the first place. That's the stuff we need to let go of so that this divine feminine energy can rise up. And I think the reason that we're not allowing this to happen is that a lot of us are stuck in an old story. And the old story is our conditioning. So from the time we little girls, we conditioned that girls are sugar and spice and all things nice. We conditioned in terms of how we need to dress, how we need to sit, about our manners and how we need to speak and what's acceptable, what's not. We are conditioned to be all things to all people. We've got to be the best partner possible, the best mom, the best daughter, the best sister, best friend, best at the work that we do. So we're constantly pushing ourselves to be everything to everyone. So we're over giving as well. And I'm not saying giving is a bad thing, but over giving leaves you depleted because we taught to put ourselves last, right? So when we can look at all of this old conditioning that women are the weaker sex, I mean, come on, ladies, do you really think any woman would have coined a phrase like that, that women are the weaker sex? So we need to start questioning where's all this conditioning coming from? Who started this? And then it just spread and it was passed down from generation to generation to generation. But who is it serving for us to live by this conditioning? So the divine feminine, the truth of the divine feminine is that she is powerful beyond measure. She is bold. She is confident. She can be immensely wise and intuitive. And then on the opposite side, she can be fun and light and taps into pleasure and joy. She's very, very creative. So, see, this is not the feminine that we were taught. From the time we were little girls, we were not told how powerful we are. We were not told that we can create anything we desire, right? We were not taught any of this, but we were taught to suppress. Um, the divine feminine is in touch with emotions and the physical body. That is where she lives. So if we look at human beings, we live on these four levels. It's the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. The mental is where the masculine lives. That is your thoughts, your mind. And when you measure, so around the brain, you have a field, around the heart, you have a field that can be measured. Okay, so when we look at the brain field, the heart field is actually 5,000 times stronger than the brain field, which is telling us that our emotions are 5,000 times stronger than our thoughts. And yet, when you look at all of us in the work world, whether we have our own businesses or we women in leadership roles, we are taught to stuff down the emotions. You leave your emotions at home. You don't bring that to work. You can't show emotion in the office. You've got to it's like thoughts are glorified. The mind is glorified because you've got to think, you've got to analyze, you've got to make decisions, you've got to take the lead, you've got to take action. And I'm not saying that any of those things are wrong or bad. I'm saying that is complete masculine energy. We have now suppressed that feminine energy, which is so powerful that when we use this feminine energy, the body and the emotions, we can reclaim the power of the inner goddess, that divine feminine energy, right? Because when we want to create, we look at what we want to create, we think about that's the mind, but that's like 5%. So the next step of it is where we can see it. So now we're starting to get creative, where we can imagine it. We can sense this in the body. What would it feel like if I already had that? We bring in the emotion. How will I feel emotionally if that was real? When we use the feminine power, we are able to create and manifest and draw into our lives anything that we desire. So, can you see what a powerful energy we have actually suppressed? And I feel that is so sad that we've done that. So, right now, where we are, the divine feminine energy is rising on our planet. We talk about our planet as Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. It's a feminine energy, right? So if she is raising her consciousness, that means the feminine consciousness across the entire planet is now starting to rise. So as women, we have, I believe, the responsibility to step into this feminine energy, realize just how powerful it is. And also, we need to end the cycles of the energy being undermined and abused and belittled. We need to end those cycles. It must end with us so that we do not pass that on to the next generation, right? We do not pass that on to our sisters and our daughters. And we'll have generations of ancestors who are thanking us because we have made this shift now. All right. So there's a formula for thriving using your feminine energy. So I call that the three P's. It is power, pleasure, and purpose. So when we talk about feminine power, it is not um, dominating someone. It's not forceful. It's not controlling in any way. It is an inner power that you tap into within yourself where you know who you are and you are able to stand in your worth. Now, when we stand in our worth, this word worthiness gets thrown around so easily, right? You love yourself, know your worth. It gets thrown around, but it's just lip service if all we're doing is talking about it. The feminine is not in speech, it's not in the thoughts. She resides in the heart and in the body. So, can you physically, somatically, feel the sense of worthiness? In your heart, can you feel this feeling of love for yourself? That is when we are truly igniting the feminine energy inside of us. It's not lip service anymore. We can't just talk about it and think, oh, yes, if I say I love myself, then I do. No, we have to feel it. That's when we're igniting true feminine power. Um, so it's inside of you. She creates from the inside out. So she creates by visualizing what it is, dreaming about it, letting the ideas flow. She receives the ideas, she receives the inspiration, right? So it's coming from within herself that she can create on the outside. The second element is pleasure. Pleasure means she is connected with her sense of joy, of aliveness, of sensuality. And, we think of pleasure only as sensuality, and it's actually not. It's a feeling of aliveness in your body, in your work, in your home, in your relationships, in your life. The feeling of aliveness. It's I'm living fully, I'm expressing fully, I'm authentically me, who I am, what I came here to be. Can you see how different that is from the energy of I've got to fit in? I can't wear this. What would everyone else say? So everywhere we find that we become so flexible that we are one person at work, we are another person with our partners, with another person with our kids, we are another person with our in-laws, right? So we are all these different people. But the divine feminine doesn't want that. She wants the true, authentic you. And when we tap into that power, we feel this inner strength within ourselves. And there comes a point where you feel the quiet inside of you. That is when the feminine speaks to you, when you just go quiet and listen. What is my next step? Who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose? Where do I need to be? What do I need to say? To whom? Can you see how we start tapping in and connecting with that inner wisdom, that intuition that is there? We were born with it. But because we're so busy focused on the outside world, we in our minds all the time, we're doing all the time. And when we have moments to spare, we either binge watching Netflix or we're on our phones. Our focus is outside ourselves. And the feminine says, bring that focus in. Because in here, when you step into this power, you become radiant. You step into your magnificence. When you can be authentically who you are without apology, now there is this light inside of you that begins to radiate out. And suddenly you'll notice that the right people are drawn to you. The right opportunities are drawn to you. The feminine does not chase, she attracts. And that's how she does it. By going within and claiming the inner power, by tapping into her inner pleasure, what brings her joy. And when she follows the things that bring her joy, she steps into the miracle zone in life. And the third P is purpose. So this is the age-old question, right? Who am I? Why am I here? So with purpose, it goes beyond the work that we are doing. So when she asks, why am I here? The purpose is taking her gifts and her talents and using that for the greater good. That means it serves me, but it also serves the company I work for. It serves the people around me. It serves the clients, the customers. It serves the planet on a whole. Can you see? It's like there's no, I'm taking from here so that I can thrive and someone else suffers. The feminine is about community. It's about how can we all win? How can we all come together and thrive? There is more than enough abundance in the world for everyone. There is more than enough love in the world for everyone. Can you see how different the feminine energy is? It's not about taking, it's about receiving. The two are completely different frequencies. So the way in which we allow the feminine energy to rise up is we need to tap into our masculine energy, which we all know very well. If you're a woman in leadership, if you own your own business, you know this energy very well because you are already living in it. You know how to get things done. That is the masculine energy, right? He is the one that provides structure. He is the provider. He is the protector. He is the one that plans and strategizes and makes decisions and takes action. So most women know how to do all of those things really, really well. But it is the feminine that we have suppressed. So it's almost like we're going through life with one hand tied behind our back. And we're trying to go through our day. Can you imagine getting up in the morning and with one hand trying to open the toothpaste tube and put that toothpaste on the brush and brush your teeth and wash your face and have a shower and dress yourself, have your breakfast, drive to work, work the whole day, come back, make a meal. Can you imagine doing all of that with one hand? And that's what we do when we tap purely into the masculine. We're using half of the brain and we're not using the other half of our brain. That is what we're doing. Okay. So when we can feel safety from the masculine. And the masculine is not external, it's not another person, it's the masculine within yourself. So women have both masculine and feminine energy, men have both masculine and feminine energy, right? So when we use our inner masculine, which we're already doing quite well, and we say, I am safe. It is safe for me to feel. It is safe for me to tap into my intuition. It is safe for me to soar. It is safe for me to dream. It is safe for me to be visible in the world. So the masculine is like the riverbed. He's providing the safety, the structure, so that the feminine, which is the water that flows through it, can flow in her absolute glory. So when we bring the masculine and the feminine together, we come into a place of wholeness. Now we're not looking outside ourselves for someone to complete us, for someone else to make us happy, right? We come into this place of wholeness where I am already whole, I am already happy, I'm already complete, and now I attract a partner that reflects that wholeness back to me, right? The problem that we're seeing in the world today is that a lot of men are in their wounded masculine because a lot of women are only in their masculine energy. So when we want a relationship that is whole, if you are in your masculine, you draw from the man his feminine energy. So now he's not taking action and taking the lead. He's there dreaming and, he has all the ideas and he's in the receptive mode. Can you see that? So if we go excessive on the feminine, and that means we're controlling, we manipulative, we want to tell them what to do all the time, we push them into their wounded masculine. That means they can't take the lead, they can't make decisions, so they let you make all the decisions. They often struggle financially, so you've got to step in and take over. So when you want the man to step up in his divine masculine energy, you've got to tap into your divine feminine energy. Can I feel into that boldness, that confidence? Can I feel into my intuition and my wisdom? Can I lead from that place? Right? Can I tap into my creativity? Can I show up as the receiver? Women are very good at giving, but how good are you at receiving? When someone gives you a compliment, what happens? Um, do you cringe a little bit and say, "Oh, this whole thing, bought it in a sale," Or if they buy you a really expensive gift, do we say, "Oh, you shouldn't have"? How do we receive? Because the masculine gives and the feminine receives, so we need to learn to receive. Okay, so the masculine part of us is the part that gives, but we harmonize and balance that with the feminine part of us that has the ability to receive. Now we're doing both the giving and the receiving. Can you see the harmony that we have in our lives now? When we step into relationship and we let the man take a lead, you set up the date. He says, "Where would you like to go?" You say, "No, you're the man. You choose. But this is the kind of food I like. These are the kinds of things I love to do." And let him make those decisions, take the lead. And for crying out loud, let him pay the bill. It's a lunch bill or a dinner bill. It's not going to make him broke, right? Women are too eager to, no, no, I have to pay my share because we feel that we're going to lose our independence if we do that. And yet the man feels like the provider when he's able to do that. You make him feel like a man, right? So he's not looking for another man, he's looking for the feminine. That's what he's looking for. So if you're masculine and he's masculine, it's like two positive ends of a magnet. They're going to push, they're going to repel. They can't come together. But if you have masculine and feminine, now it's a positive and a negative of the magnet. It creates polarity and attraction. So you draw towards each other. Now you know why if you're feeling invisible and alone, you won't ever feel that way if you can step fully into your feminine. And the only reason we don't step into our feminine is because we have been conditioned to believe the feminine is weak. So now, if we start shifting that mindset, releasing that old limiting belief, and start recognizing, feeling how powerful the feminine energy is, what you'll find in your life is you begin to thrive in all areas. A relationship where people are coming from wholeness with masculine and feminine harmonized within them, where the female has slightly dominant feminine and the masculine male has slightly dominant masculine. In these relationships, the feminine in both partners will dream up this relationship. You'll create a vision of what we want this relationship to be. And then the masculine in both of you will bring that vision into the real world. You'll make that relationship real. So it's not about I dream it, but I don't take any action at all, right? For women that are only in their feminine and not in their masculine, they come up with excellent ideas. They're very creative, but they don't take action and bring that idea into the physical. So that's why they feel like, why am I so invisible? I have all these brilliant ideas, but I don't know how to execute. Right? So then they need to step into the masculine and pull that energy up to harmonize with the feminine. But with the women I work with, 99% of them are in the masculine and the feminine has been suppressed, right? So in relationships, it will be us creating conscious relationships where we are not afraid to be vulnerable, to be authentic, to have deep, meaningful conversations, to ask for what it is we desire. So we're not afraid of that. And it's not something that you force yourself to do. When you step into the feminine, you'll find that that happens automatically. I hear clients saying, I said this, and it's something I would have never said in the past. So can you see? It's like even they are surprised, but because they have met this inner goddess and now they are operating from this feminine energy, the changes that happen in your life happen automatically. That's what we want to see happening, right? Um, when you're in this harmonized masculine and feminine in work and money, what happens is that you don't have to chase clients, you don't have to chase opportunities. You'll find that they are drawn to you. Because remember, I said the feminine attracts, she does not chase. So the right people come, the right opportunities come, the support will come, the money will come. Everything will be magnetized to you because you are emitting the radiance, the magnificence of the divine feminine. So these women that can walk into a room and turn heads. It's because they are fully in that feminine energy, right? So it works in relationships, but it works equally well in the work and the money. It also works in all of your life. So that feeling of joy, I'm fully present. I love my life. I love me. I love my home. I love what I do. And feeling the joy of that, not being afraid to feel pleasure. So whether that is in a sexual relationship or whether that is having this plate of food, your favorite meal, and enjoying every bite. It's the pleasure of it, right? Or going for this massage and then just giving in, surrendering to the pleasure of that. So pleasure is all of those things. However, I must say that the majority of very strong women I work with have shut down their sexual energy as well. And a lot of this is because of past hurt. We've been hurt in relationships in the past. We don't ever want to feel that hurt again. So we've shut that down. But when you do that, you essentially shutting down your feminine energy as well, right? So we arrive at this moment where you now have a choice to make. Am I going to continue the rest of today, tomorrow, this week, next month, next year, the next 5, 10 years, as I have been doing in the past? Or am I going to do something a little differently now? Am I going to start having conversations with this inner goddess? Am I going to allow her to shine, to thrive through me, to be seen? Am I going to honor her instead of suppressing her? Right? That's a choice that we have to make. And when we make this choice, when we stand in that feminine power, we are changing history because the patriarchy has, so you've got, if you go back thousands of years, the feminine energy was actually dominant on our planet, right? That was the time where the goddess was worshipped. Then the female energy was, the time of the witch trials, and women were burnt at the stake because they seemingly had these powers. But what were the powers? It was their intuition. It was them knowing what plants to use to cure certain illnesses. That's what they knew. They were in touch with nature. They were in touch with the seasons. They were in touch with their own intuition. And they were labeled witches and burned for that, right? So a lot of us in our DNA, we carry that fear of stepping fully into the feminine because of that. But we can either live in the fear and pass it on to the next generation, or we can make a choice right now that this ends with us. So from that goddess worship, the feminine was then undermined, belittled, abused, and that gave rise to the patriarchy. So you can see it's gone from one extreme to the other. So the patriarchy is all the, when the women are the weaker sex, who's it coming from? It's coming from the patriarchy. uh, the way you need to dress, the way you need to speak, the way you need to show up, your manners and all of that, it's coming from the patriarchy. This is what they want, they desire. So right now, when you choose to honor your masculine and honor your feminine energy, you're bringing this two back into the center of the pendulum, into a place of balance, wholeness, harmony, joy, love, peace. Can you see? That's what we're doing. That's what we are here to create right now with the divine feminine. And so you make the choice right now, and we don't want to continue the patterns that are not working for us any longer. We are far more powerful than we know. And I'm inviting you to step into that power, to awaken the goddess within you. And you can choose different ways to do that, right? If you want to work with me, I have a program called Redivining the Feminine. It's making the feminine divine again. It's a year-long program. In that time, you will meet your inner goddess. You will meet your inner child. That's the part of you that has been wounded. That's the part of you that's keeping you invisible, keeping you doing too much and not being able to receive. You will meet your inner masculine. You will know your soul purpose. You'll bring that purpose into your work. And each month we work on manifesting relationships. We work with relationships with your family and friends, relationships with your significant other. We work with bringing your purpose into your work. We work on prosperity. We work on the physical body, health, and well-being. So it is because we've lived with this energy for so long, we can't change it in one day or 1 hour or 1 week. It is a process of releasing everything that does not belong, and it's a process of bringing in this power and then transforming your life, watching how you begin to transform and thrive in every single area of your life, right? And for the month of August, I'm offering a 25% off that program. So if you want to know more, you can do a free 30-minute session with me. My email address is info@nextlevelup.co.za, or you can connect with me on social media, and just ask for that free 30-minute session. So in that session, we'll see where you are, we'll see what you need, and we'll see if the program is right for you. Um, I'm not a big salesperson, so I'm not going to push the sales. I believe that in the feminine way, if you are ready for the content of this, then we'll come together and we'll support each other and walk the journey together, right? You can choose to do it on your own. That's okay as well. You can choose to do it with somebody else. All I'm saying is awaken the goddess within you and step fully into your power, your pleasure, and your purpose.